because he's also from Vermont. So that's a key loss for the Seminoles on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, Bo Bowen, he's been shooting the ball almost 54%, I think, the last 4 games from three-point land. So it just limits Florida State as far as offensive option goes, and they'll miss him tonight.
Ewin is flustered in the post by Chad Venning, who's been a presence for BC on both ends. Deion Brown, Roger McFarland, Josh Beadle, Donald Hand, and Chad Venning make up their starting lineup. Beadle with a penetration to Brown. And a good start for the transfer from UMBC.
And pick up right where he left off, 20 points versus North Carolina. He's a guy that really needs to be aggressive for this Boston College team.
Chandler Jackson, Daquan Davis, Jamir, Watkins, Jerry Dang, and Malique Ewin. Dang making his second start as he starts for Bo Bowen. So Florida State working inside out, and a team that likes to move the ball a lot on the offensive end of the floor. For them to have optimal offensive production with 225 passes. But how about this BC 3?
Yeah, you see right here Joshua Beadle just getting into the lane, creating something for Deion Brown in the corner, knocking it down. When you get an open opportunity, you have to be able to take advantage of it. Deion Brown, good job knocking it down.
Beadle and Brown combining for 34 points against the Tar Heels. That was a devastating loss for BC. We'll get into that in a little bit. Chad Venning, the running hook shot. The St. Bonaventure transfer is hard to handle, isn't it?
He's been doing great. I mean, 17 points over his last 3 games. Almost 60% from the field, John. He's just a guy, when he gets it in the post, he uses his strong body to be able to create space and get opportunities at the rim.
Watkins with the runner off the line for the Seminoles. Florida State averaging 77 points per game. They shoot it at a 46% clip. Donald Hand for 3. And Chandler Jackson the rebound. Watkins transfer from Virginia Commonwealth. Ball's punched out of bounds by Deion Brown with 22 to shoot, but BC looks like they have a good offensive flow in the first 2 minutes of the game.
Well, I think both teams offensively, they want to be able to get ball movement. They want to create angles on the drive and just open opportunities to shoot the basketball. But you see already for Florida State, Ewing out of the game. Only 1 for 4 last game, 2 points. He's a guy who has to be assertive. He has to be aggressive, especially being 6'11", just using that big body, trying to create opportunities.
Yeah, they frustrated the fact that he only had 4 shots against Virginia Tech. Waning seconds of the shot clock. Watkins and the board for Hand. Donald Hand has been one of the top performers in the ACC. Our spotlight performer in the open with that big game against North Carolina with 26. Darting drive by McFarland. Here comes Watkins. He'll go downhill on you quickly. And a foul on BC. That's on Deion Brown. And another substitution is Ewin checks back in for Leonard Hamilton. Watkins 10 plus 19 of 21. That's like Eric Devendorf efficiency.
Yeah. The thing is with Florida State, you don't want to have to get in those ISO situations every single time. The last few possessions just ended up in tough shots for Florida State. They got to move the ball side to side, get the defense moving, to try to create those driving lanes for their guards.
I mentioned earlier the optimal game for Leonard Hamilton. He wants 225 passes throughout the game. How does that happen?
Well, it's just ball movement. Obviously, Florida State is a team that creates offense from their defense, but when they do get in the half court, they have to be able to move the ball, move the defense side to side. That will create driving lanes. Now you can get into the paint, and that creates drive and kick opportunities.
Seems easy enough. Donald Hand for 3. And Watkins up high. Davis, who's an impressive guard. Dang is off the mark. Ewin in the post, and he's got the first 2 of the night for the Seminoles.
Well, it was a big resistance from Venning right there, but even right there, Malique Ewin, when he gets the ball, get a wide base, use your strong body, and go up aggressively at the basket. Venning just gave him an opportunity where he wasn't playing hard defense right there.
Brown bounces the ball away for a turnover. BC with 12 turnovers per game.
Right here, Ewing just really no resistance at all from Venning, just kind of just let him go right up to the rim. And when you play defense like that, I guess it's going to be a little bit easier to score.
It's an offensive player's dream.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you're not going to play defense, I'm going to go right up and score.
Beadle called for the BC foul. He's first. Second on the team as the inbound. Watkins to trigger. Eagles man-to-man. This is Daquan Davis out of Baltimore. Played for Overtime Elite, one of the best programs in the country. 3 and a foul, says official Claire Aubrey. It's on Roger McFarland. Transfer from Southeast Louisiana. First on McFarland.
See, good drive and kick by Davis. And Dang's the guy that can really shoot the ball. And you hope he's okay, because this Florida State's already losing Bull Bowen, and it'd be tough to lose another guy. Dang, another outside shooter, a guy who can space the floor for Florida State. Looks like he's all right, though, John.
There's Taylor Bull Bowen looking on. Here's your stat of the day, or kind of a name fact of the day. Compliments of Chuck Walsh of Florida State. Bull Bowen grew up in Jericho, Vermont, the same town as Wilson A. Bentley, who's credited with taking the first picture of a snowflake.
Being in Syracuse, we have a lot of snowflakes.
You could win a few bets on that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell me who Wilson A. Bentley is.
That was my first time ever hearing that name, just to be honest. So I would have lost that bet.
Well, we like to tell you something you don't know. Consider it done with Dang at the line with 3 shots after the foul. Florida State's had their moments where you think, all right, we're figuring it out. That's evident by 4 wins in the ACC, which is a rugged conference this year. Granted, it is down, but still, as you know, broadcasting games throughout the year, every game you go into an opposing gym, it's tough to win.
Well, you look at the ACC standings, and everyone's clumped right there. You see those 3 teams at the top, Duke, Clemson, Louisville, they're separating themselves. But everybody else is kind of right there. And Leonard Hamilton team, they're usually long and athletic, create offense with their defense, but they have to be able to move the basketball, create opportunities for their scorers in the half court.
Skip pass by hand to Brown, shook his defender. And he's got another 2. Deion Brown is a smooth shooter, but his confidence is waning in the early stages of the year. What a pass! And the dunk to Ewin. That's outstanding job by Daquan Davis.
And, John, going back to Deion Brown, if I'm Deion Brown, I'm just playing basketball. I can't worry about my confidence. I have to go out there and play. If I make it, if I miss it, get back on defense, continue to play.
And a turnover. Turnover on BC. We will head to our first timeout. Locked to the tin. It's February 1st. Welcome to winter.
Yeah, we're not escaping any snowflakes in Syracuse. There's 2 feet of snow on the ground. So this is light right here in Boston.
This is a vacation for you.
Exactly.
Seminoles with another substitution. Christian Nitu on the floor, wearing 11 in black. Jamir Watkins, their point guard, hounded by Deion Brown. Daquan Davis. Ewin, the weak side rebound. Transfer from Ole Miss. And an offensive foul, says Jeff Pond. Pond, part of the officiating crew of Eric Lewis and Claire Aubrey. It's on Watkins, his first. Second on the team with Roger McFarland to inbound. Watkins is ultra aggressive, and that sometimes provides issues.
Well, you see on that last possession, it was 0 passes, just off the pick and roll. Defense already set. He drives in there. He has bodies everywhere. It's hard to be able to score like that. Now, this guy right here, he's been scoring the basketball at a high rate. We know Donald Hand Jr. is going to be able to score the basketball, but it's crucial for Boston College to get guys like Brown and Beadle to be aggressive offensively.
And they match 3-pointers with Watkins providing the optimal distance. And 39% from 3, one of the most improved players in the ACC. He's got an injury to deal with, a torn ACL, come back with a vengeance. Beadle, the Clemson transfer for Hand, long range. Yes, sir.
Donald Hand Jr. is a guy who is not shy when the ball comes into his hands, one of the best shooters in the ACC.
He made 5 of 8 from 3 against North Carolina last Saturday. D2 in the post for Ewin. Watkins. And the board for Hand. Here come the Eagles. Another 3. Kept alive by Deion Brown. Good pass by Hand to Brown. Venning gets it back and barrels down the lane for a foul.
Donald Hand doing a good job finding the open spot. Corner 3, bucket. And he says, I got one more for you at the top of the key, coming off the down screen, knocking it down. Again, Donald Hand Jr., one of the best shooters in the ACC.
Yeah, those numbers tell a big story for Hand. That's the 2nd foul on Florida State's Malique Ewin. 4th on the team with Venning at the line. Venning shooting just 62% on the free throw line. Now, you played a lot of basketball in your career at Syracuse and overseas. Chad Venning had 17 points and 1 rebound against North Carolina last week. 1 rebound for a big guy. How does that happen?
Yeah, not going to cut it. It's just at that size, you got to be able to create space just with your body and just going after the ball. Rebounding the basketball is about effort. And when you're 6'10", 270 pounds, you should be getting more than 1 rebound. That's all about effort and just being aggressive going after the basketball.
He's been an excellent addition for Earl Grant's Eagles since he got him from St. Bonaventure. Justin Thomas in the game for Leonard Hamilton. Jaden Hastings called for a foul. What happened there?
Well, you see, John, Boston College is honestly doing a good job of just being active defensively. Florida State's playing side to side. Now, you want to get the side-to-side movement, but then when you see the opening, you want to be able to attack those gaps and get downhill. But Boston College is doing a good job of just staying in front, except right there, or Jamir Watkins just being aggressive to the basket.
He's such a powerful presence. Watkins, 6'7", 210 pounds, but plays downhill.
And just getting downhill on the baseline, and McFarland said, hey, I'm going to get out of the way. Jamir Watkins, that's what you have to do when you're 6'7", 215. If you see that opening, attack the gap, and just be aggressive at the basket. Opportunity for 2 free throws.
Foul was on Roger McFarland, his 2nd. Coming up next at 4 Eastern on ACC Network, the Commonwealth Clash between Virginia Tech and Virginia. Also, SMU hosts Stanford to cap the night. Big night of basketball on ACCN. Maxime Moreno, one of the top players in college basketball, candidate for ACC Player of the Year, leading the Stanford Cardinal. Knocked off your orange the other night.
Yeah, I appreciate you letting me know that. But, I mean, he's a heck of a player. It's either between him and Cooper Flagg of the ACC Player of the Year, 2 of the top players in the country, not only the ACC.
Eric Lewis, former NBA official, calls a foul. It's on Justin Thomas. 1st on Thomas. 4th on the Noles as the Eagles will inbound. Joshua Beadle on the floor with Fred Payne, Deion Brown, Donald Hand, and Jaden Hastings. A.J. Swinton in the game for Florida State. Turnaround by Hastings. And here comes Malique.
And John, even right there on that last possession for Hastings, use your big body, get leverage, and then go up strong. You're fading away from the rim 2 feet from the basket.
Florida State grabs the lead thanks to A.J. Swinton's 3-pointer. Averaging 10 minutes per game and 2 points.
Swinton's another talented forward, and it seems like you got 6'7", 6'7", 6'8", 6'11" with every single player on Florida State, but Leonard Hamilton always has a talented group, and A.J. Swinton's another one of those guys.
2nd on Jaden Hastings. second tallest team in the nation behind Duke. Duke has the slight edge. Elon and Florida State locked in the 2 spot with Illinois and Indiana not far behind. The length of Florida State. Leonard Hamilton, since he's been in Tallahassee, has always recruited shot blockers.
They're not only athletic and tall, but they're mobile. They're active,
Yeah.
they can move. And we know Leonard Hamilton, Florida State teams, they create offense from their defense, getting up in the passing lanes, getting deflections, block shots, and steals. And this is another year where Florida State's leading the ACC in blocks and steals.
Wide open underneath was Boston Holt, whose grandmother loved Boston. That's why they named him Boston, but they named him with a Y.
I love Boston, but we're going to make a little change.
We'll put the Y in instead of the O. As the Noles are riding a 7-0 run. Foul on Thomas is second. Leonard Hamilton, one of the best coaches in the country year in and year out. 4th all-time in ACC regular season wins, and they defined consistency for so many years, but this year has been a challenge.
So I got to talk to Leonard Hamilton. I did a game down in Florida State when they played Syracuse, and just listening to some of his stories and, his knowledge of the game, just to be a fly on the wall in those conversations, you're just going to learn a whole bunch. And Leonard Hamilton, 4th winningest coach in ACC conference history, and one of the greatest to do it.
Bolt, good pass for Jackson. Well, Florida State running with some heat out a 9-0 run.
Well, you see the ball movement right there. Jackson got into a sprint into the pass and just attacked the gap, 2 feet in the paint. Easy floater at the rim.
Brown to the baseline. Nifty move by Deion Brown.
And this is what Boston College needs from Deion Brown. Attack the basket, strong body. Create opportunities for yourself at the rim. If you don't make it, you got an opportunity at the free throw line.
Holt, take around Beadle. Too much contact, says Eric Lewis, and a foul. On Chad Venning, his second. We will go to a timeout. You see on your screen Stan White. That's what they're looking for.
And we talked to our guy Chuck before the game. He said if they have almost an equal number of assists and made baskets, that's a good sign for Florida State. Great start to the game for them.
Yeah, Chuck Walsh, Mr. Stats for FSU. And the great sports information director. Mike Capre doing a great job for BC as well. Boston Holt at the line after the foul on Venning. BC 6-5 at home. Their last home win was their last win overall when they beat Miami on New Year's Day. That was a comeback win when they trailed by as many as 19. Largest home comeback victory ever in program history. But many years playing the JMA Wireless Dome, used to be the Carrier Dome. If you didn't defend home court, you were going to have a long year.
And now with the conference standings just how they are, John, there's only 10 games left. After this game is 10 games. Every game means something to every single team. 1 or 2 losses, 1 or 2 wins could drop you 5 spots in the standing or could put you up 5 spots in the standing. So every single game means something to both teams.
Yeah, BC 1-8. 1 spot above Miami, who's last in the conference. Bottom 3 teams do not make the ACC tournament. Donald Hand for 3. That's his 3rd 3 of the game. He's got 9 points.
Donald's just been on a heater, shooting the ball with extreme confidence. And when he doesn't have the open look, he's attacking the basket, just playing at a high level for Boston College.
Deion Brown at the point, looking for Kelley, but instead he finds Hand. Eagles with 4 guards on the floor. Henning flummoxed, and he coughs it up. Here comes Chandler Jackson on the break for Nitu. Claire Aubrey calls a foul. Boy, that was a bunny for Nitu. Still a foul, though, on Fred Payne. First, 8th on the team. And Nitu at the line.
John, has started on the other end. If I'm Venning, I got to be able to get low post position. Use your strong body, get lower, get by the rim, have a better opportunity. And then if you miss it, if you turn over, you have to bust your butt back. He's lucky that he missed that opportunity at the rim, chance for an and one. Right here, you just got to get lower position, be strong with the ball, and then you got to run back. So you need to run the floor, rim running, and opportunity at the rim. It should have been an and one, but an opportunity to go 1 for 2 right here at the line.
Three-point Florida State lead. Malique back in the lineup, replacing Christian Nitu in the problematic stretch for the Eagles on a 6-game losing skid. Points in the paint, 42 for the opposition. That's numbers magnified, yielding 84 points per outing. It just has not been pretty.
Really, they've been struggling on both ends until North Carolina. They seem to get back on track offensively, but defensively, when you're showing that many points in the paint, it's really about keeping your guy in front of you.
And baseline activity. Claire Aubrey says Florida State ball, but an inability to finish here.
It was a good defense right there by Davis, and just find a crease. And Fred Payne, yeah, he just has to finish. Fred Payne has actually been given good minutes for Boston College. Just a grit, a hustle type of guy, but have to finish those opportunities at the rim.
The coaching staff loves Fred Payne. He's one of the hardest workers on the team. 6.5 points per game, shooting 44%. Foul on Chad Venning. And one thing that Earl Grant told us yesterday when we spoke to him was Donald Hand is the most industrious player he has. He's in the gym at 6:30 every morning putting up shots. There's a reason why he's become one of the best scorers in the league.
And I tell guys all the time, so I work with younger kids at home with basketball development, and they ask, hey, how can I get minutes on the floor? Well, compete at a high level and play as hard as you can, and then you're going to give yourself a chance. You could be the most talented guy on the court, but if you're not competing at a high level, then you're selling yourself short.
Yeah, only 4 men in the top 21 points per game and rebounds. Ewin, another one of those playing today. He's had some quiet moments, though. He has to be a double-double guy for Florida State to have success.
At that size, with that skill, athleticism, and being able to move how he does, there's no reason you should be shooting 4 shots a game. You should never end a game 1 for 4 with 2 points. Not as talented as he is.
And he's still on the bench for Leonard Hamilton. He's only played 5 minutes thus far. The runner by Kelley. Eke out for Florida State. Watkins. No, he can run downhill, but he can also hit from 3. 8-point lead, largest of the game.
Well, you talked about his improvement as a shooter. I know this past summer, he spent hours and hours in the gym working on that jump shot, and you see the improvement this season for Florida State.
Take by hand. And a foul on the Seminoles, but good ball movement, too, by the Noles.
Good baseline drive, finding Watkins on the open corner 3. He's a guy that prefers to be aggressive to the rim, get to the free throw line at a high clip, but this year he has an improved jump shot, and he's shown you early in this game.
2 shots for Donald Hand as Watkins sits with 8 points.
And, John, at some point, if I'm Donald Hand Jr., if you let 2-3 possessions go by where I'm not getting a shot up, I'm talking to my teammates, I'm telling them I need the ball. You're the guy that needs the ball in your hands. You have to be aggressive. I'm not saying force it, but you have to be able to get a play, attacking the rim and not settling. Donald Hand Jr., he's the guy for Boston College. He has to be able to have the ball in his hands.
He has 10 of their 20 points at the line. Put up 17 shots against North Carolina. That 26-point outing, so he's off to another good start, but BC needs more production from other players. The complementary scoring has been in short supply.
100%, and I say all that, but they still need Beadle. They need Deion Brown. These guys have to be consistent if they want to get wins.
Davis the take. What a move. And Malique missed the flush. Davis did the hard part, splitting the defense.
Just leaving points on the board right there. That's an easy finish at the rim.
And And Davis the board. Another hop, skip, and a jump. Up for grabs, 50-50 ball. Malique takes it. It's a good hustle by the Noles.
Good hustle, but sloppy. There was 2 opportunities for Davis at the rim, point blank, and missed both of them.
There's a good shot by Jamir Watkins. His big day continues. He's in double figures with 10. BC has missed 9 of its last 11 shots. They haven't scored in more than 3 minutes.
And when all fails, give Jamir Watkins the ball, let him attack the basket.
Payne, a 3. Is that a good idea?
That's a terrible idea. If you're Boston College, you have to be able to get ball moving. See Watkins right here doing what he does best, just attacking the lane. And
1,000-point club in his Florida State career. Had a prolific scoring career as well at Virginia Commonwealth. Good acquisition of the portal by Leonard Hamilton and his staff. And you and I said during the break, BC still searching for an offensive identity. What do they have to do to be better?
Well, BC, it starts with being able to get some ball movement. But when you get Venning back in the game, you want to be able to get him some touches in the post and try to be able to play inside out. But get some ball movement, create some opportunities where you can find some driving lanes, and then hopefully get some drive and kick opportunities.
Relentless work off the boards by Watkins, and he's slapped from behind by Jaden Hastings. Brown almost traveled. Beadle ran into the defender, Swinton. Fouls on A.J. Swinton, his first, 7th on the team, 1-1. So Hand and Brown providing the offense again. Rest of the team problematic. There's Donald Hand on the bench as the Eagles trail by 8 with 7:29 to play in the half.
And John, another way to be able to create some offense is do it with defensively by getting block shots, getting some steals. You saw Hastings, great block, and they were able to get out in transition, get some early opportunities at the rim.
Good
there
hustle.
You see Fred Payne, yeah.
Payne, 3-pointer. No. Again, they're doing the hard part, grabbing the loose ball on defense. Payne trying to trigger the offense off of it, but it didn't happen.
Now, when you get it, you have to be able to make a decision. A good decision.
Chad Venning on the BC bench with a toe problem. He is eligible to return. So that's a loss for the Eagles.
John, if I'm Venning, I'm trying to play through that toe injury.
Yeah. Venning averaging 13 points, 4 rebounds. First on the team with 29 blocks. Need to the take around Hastings, but he's blocked. Good D by Jaden Hastings, who has a bright future for the Eagles.
And this is what Jaden Hastings brings right here. Just more mobile, and more athletic than Venning, and he's capable of getting block shots, getting steals, and then running the floor. After you block the shot or get a steal, rim run. Get an opportunity for yourself at the rim.
He's a 54% field goal shooter, Jaden Hastings, in limited opportunities. He's averaging 3.5 points. But that will come, they feel. His offense will come.
And John, it'll come right now. Just play your role. Be aggressive defensively, and then be around the rim when you get opportunities, go up.
Joshua Beadle. And Jeff Pond, official calls a foul on, I think he got need to.
And if I'm Beadle, I just have to be aggressive, especially when I have a big guy close out on me in the corner. Look to get into the lane. If you don't have your opportunity, draw the defender and make a decision for your teammate.
BC is a team at 72%. This is our next gymnastics meet here on ACCN and the ESPN app. Tomorrow afternoon, number 8 Cal squares off against number 21 NC State in Raleigh. Coverage begins at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific.
John, especially with this 4-guard set that BC is playing, you're going to have opportunities to be able to drive and get into the lane and create opportunities not only for yourself but for your teammates.
Eagles with a modicum of full court pressure. You like that?
They have to figure out a way to mix it up. How can they create turnovers and turn that into easy opportunities on the offensive side of the ball? Just be active defensively, use your speed, and try to mix it up.
Deion Brown with an athletic foul, trying to block the shot. This is impressive.
Yeah, just be aggressive at the rim. You see Jackson right there going up strong and aggressive. Two things are going to happen. You're either going to get blocked or you're going to get fouled.
Chandler Jackson, the junior from Memphis. 7.5 points per game, shooting 79% from the line. Both teams not shooting well. Florida State 38%, BC 33%. Eagles have made 4 for 10 from distance. But there's been droughts for both squads.
And John, going back to your point about BC, you don't want to have to play against a set Florida State defense in the half court every single time with that length and athleticism. They have to be able to find ways to create turnovers defensively and then try to get transition opportunities on the other end.
BC has not had a field goal, Eric, in the last 5 minutes and 10 seconds. Florida State has led for more than 7 minutes.
You see how far Florida State's pushing BC out on the perimeter.
McFarland with his first 3 of the game.
That's being active, trying to get into those driving lanes and create the defense to be able to suck in a little bit, which you have an opportunity for an open three-point shot. McFarland, good job stepping up and just knocking it down.
They need more offense from him. Just his 10th 3 of the season in 37 attempts. Davis thought about the jab step. Skips it. Swinton. Man, he's got a smooth shot.
Yeah, Swinton, he's just another one of those talented, long, athletic. Not getting much time this season, but when he's got opportunities to get in the game, he's took advantage of them.
McFarland again. Good look. Didn't fall. Hastings tangled in the backcourt, but Davis the drive. And McFarland finds Donald Hand. Fred Payne for 3. Open looks.
Open looks, but you have to be able to knock them down. And on the other end right here, you're just letting guys get by you like that to the paint every single time.
Blow-bys. Chandler Jackson hits the deck. A.J. Swinton, the 3 moments ago for the Noles, Eric.
A.J. Swinton, we talked about his limited time, but when your number is called, you have to be able to step up, and he steps into that 3 and knocks it down. Boston College has to be aware of shooters out on the floor, be there on the shot.
Chad Venning off the toe injury, getting set to check in. There's Malique Ewing on the bench. ACC's feasted with 16 and more than 8 boards per game, and those 7 double-doubles, but just only 5 minutes. Not sure if it's an injury or what, but just 5 minutes played. Also had his second foul at the 14:06 mark, so that's a problem.
Yeah, obviously you don't want to get into any more foul trouble, but I think what Leonard Hamilton really needs from Ewing is for him just to be aggressive. Again, you have the size, you have the skill, you have the mobility. Just be aggressive at the rim. When you're aggressive, when you're being a threat, you're just going to create opportunities not only for yourself, but for your teammates.
After the foul on Hand, 1 of 2 at the line for the Noles. Beadle getting the point.
Right now, you got to see Venning. Right now, you got to see him.
Payne tries to knife through the defense. Foul on Daquan Davis, his second. 9th on the team. Anastasios Rosakias, part of your all-name team. It's one of those ones you woke up with a nightmare. Can I say this name correctly?
Yeah, and I'm going to leave it to you. I'm going to go, after you say it, then I'm going to repeat it in my head and hopefully get it right the next time.
You say it in the mirror 3 times. Anastasios Rosakias.
Rosakias.
There you go.
I got it.
You can call him number 9. Now, number 9 in these parts, there's only one number 9. That's Teddy Ballgame, Ted Williams.
There you go. Rosakias.
Well done. You're coachable. Jim Boeheim was right about you. Thomas. Luke, the baseline around Chad Venning.
You see right now, Malique just using his quickness and his mobility to go by Venning. But right now, on this end, Boston College has to see Venning has the advantage. They have to get the ball to him.
Hindered by a toe injury. Beadle shaking free, but a wild shot. He gets up slowly, tracked down, and the lay-in by McFarland. So instant energy by Roger McFarland. That's good news, but still off kilter on the offensive end.
Well, these last few possessions, you saw Venning had the mismatch 2 times in a row. Beadle had his head down, he didn't even see it.
Step back. Watkins has been hot. And the rebound.
Well, John, he can get that shot anytime. You got to get some ball movement, create opportunities, driving lanes to get to the basket. That's a shot right there that he can get any single time.
Good defense by Watkins, punched away from hand. Here comes the Noles. Drive by. And Payne picks it up. Deep 3-hand. Wow, he launched that from downtown Boston.
Well, you know what? Nothing else is going right, so give the ball to me and just let me shoot it. He's been shooting the ball at a high clip.
Impressive range for Donald Hand, his 4th 3 of the game. 3-point Florida State lead. They've led for the majority, but Carolina might not be having their best year. You know tonight will still be a heck of a game.
Yeah, John, first off, what is he doing with the R.J. Davis jersey on at a Boston College Florida State game? I just wanted to, yeah, Rand, I want to get that one out of the way.
Well, you knew he was going to be on TV if he wore it.
Exactly. But this is another one of those games, Duke and North Carolina, where you can really throw the records out. We were talking about off air. It's kind of like the Michigan-Ohio State game in college football. Right. When these two teams get together, it just means a little bit more to both teams, to both programs, and I'm sure it'll be another one tonight, just like that.
Well, it's a must-watch on ESPN at 6:30, and Thomas hits the triple for Florida State. They've made 5 threes in 8 attempts. Beadle, shy. You know, he's doing good work penetrating in the lane, but the shot's on falling.
And you want Beadle to be aggressive. If he has an early opportunity, semi-transition, you want to see that. But if it's in half court, you want to get some ball movement, 2, 3, 4 passes, and then attack off that.
Beadle has missed 3 shots. He has 2 points. Hand's been the story, but missed that one for 3.
Now, if you're Donald Hand, you can shoot the ball.
The Devendorf green light. Jackson off-angled, banks it in. Matches their largest lead of the game.
And just something that Boston College has been struggling with through this 6-game losing streak, giving up almost 84 points a game, but almost 50% of those points are in the paint. Just keeping your guy in front of you, not letting him get by, and then if he does, having bodies there to make it tough at the rim.
McFarland's had his moments. High entry pass for Venning, and just beat the shot clock. Ball still loose. It's off of BC, so another good idea, but Chad Venning could not convert.
Well, here's my thing right here. You give it to him with 5 seconds on the shot clock. You got to give it to him with some time on the shot clock so he has room to operate and make a decision. These last 3-4 possessions, they haven't even been looking at Venning. You got to try to establish some inside out if you're Boston College.
Chad Venning hasn't scored in the last 13.5 minutes. Jackson misses. Payne the rebound.
He really hasn't even been getting the opportunity. BC's guards have to do a better job of getting him the basketball. Right here, they're just stagnant. They look like they're confused offensively.
There's a 3 for Fred Payne. So despite the stagnation, he hits the triple. And Nito couldn't handle the pass. BC ball. So a swing here in the final 5 seconds of the half with less than a second remaining.
Well, it always helps when the play breaks down and then you hit a shot like that.
Good effort by Payne, but off the mark. And halftime hits in Chestnut Hill. And up and down first half. Stay with those 10 points, but he did miss the 7 threes. What are your keys to the second half for both teams?
If I'm Boston College, I need to find a way to get Venning involved offensively. Florida State, just continue to move the ball. They've been getting good looks at the rim. They just have to be able to convert.
Brown, the open three. Transfer from Maryland, Baltimore County. And the steal on the other end for Deion Brown.
And that's a good look for Deion Brown. You have to be able to take those opportunities when they're given.
BC has Joshua Beadle, Roger McFarland, Deion Brown, and Donald Hand in the backcourt. Chad Venning up front. Pocket pass by Brown to Venning. Lost his skill in the post, and here comes Florida State.
John, Venning had Davis on him when he caught the ball in the paint and decided to pass the ball out. You have to be able to go up.
BC only 6 first half points. They average 32 per game, and that's a glaring number.
You see Beadle, he just has to be able to recognize a little bit earlier when Venning is open. And right now he has the mismatch on Swinton. You have to be able to find a way to get him the ball.
Beadle trying to go around Jackson, but our first foul of the half. It's on Chandler Jackson. His first.
Right here, you just have to be, and Venning has to do a better job of sealing and getting into Swinton bodies so he could create a good pass for Beadle.
Malique Ewin back on the floor for Florida State. He had 2 fouls in the first half. Their second leading scorer had 4 first half points.
See him guarding McFarland, trying to keep him out of foul trouble, not guarding Venning. If I'm Boston College, I'm letting McFarland get the ball and attack him.
Here comes Ewin, the spin move, and he's got 2. That's what they're looking for, right?
And that's just something that Ewin adds, or just has. His skill set is be able to dribble the ball from the perimeter, put it down, and get into a spin move and finish at the rim. But he has to be aggressive. You can't be soft if you're 6'11".
Venning, a spin around Watkins for 2.
Boston College has to continue to feed him. They got Jamir Watkins guarding him. He's giving up 60, 70 pounds. You got to give Venning the ball down there.
First points for Venning since 14:06 remained in the first half. Venning has 5. Eagles shooting 35%, the Noles 41%. Davis down the lane, and he's hacked. Foul on Chad Venning, his second.
Ewin just using his skill set, showing him, putting Venning in the spin cycle and finishing with the right hand of the rim. And Boston College has to be able to find Venning on the offensive side this half. He had the advantage against Watkins, and he's able to get it and finish at the rim.
Venning second in the ACC in field goal percentage at 56%. Daquan Davis, the freshman from Baltimore. Tonight at 8 Eastern, after our men's basketball tripleheader, the Nothing But Net crew breaks down the day and night in the ACC with highlights and analysis of every game. Look ahead, the best matchups on the schedule for next week. We've got you covered all season on ACC Network and the ESPN app.
John, we were talking to Coach Grant on the Zoom yesterday, and defensively, he was really encouraging his guys to communicate but trust one another. You saw in that last possession, the help side defense was all over on the other side, and Davis just was able to cut down the middle and get an opportunity at the basket. You have to be able to communicate and talk.
And a kickball. Florida State possession. In the shadows of Earl Grant on your screen, right over his right shoulder was Dana Barros, 2,000-point scorer at BC, one of the greats to play in Chestnut Hill in a sterling NBA career.
Yeah, you could definitely fill it up. They could use a Dana Barros about right now.
That's for sure. Chandler Jackson too strong from 3, but the rebound kept alive by Ewin. Watkins doubled by Hand and Brown, works out of it. But an offensive foul on Jamir Watkins. That's his second.
And if you're Florida State, when you get a second chance opportunity, you got to be able to take advantage of it. It was a good call right here. Just use an arm to wrap around on Hand. It's a clear offensive foul.
Eagles coming off a game where they had 20 assists last Saturday at North Carolina. They have 6 today.
No mistake, it was probably one of their best offensive performances of the whole season.
96 points in the overtime loss. And they said they wanted to play probably Tuesday or Wednesday. They didn't like the week off. Earl Grant said it was a long week of practice. The schedule is the schedule, but probably if you come off that type of loss, Eric, you've been around the block, you know that needs to get out of your spin cycle early.
Exactly. You want to try to get that one out of your head and get on to the next one and get a clean slate. But if you're Boston College, offensively, get some ball movement. And yeah, we know McFarland is capable of shooting the 3, but he's not a guy that you want taking that many threes in a game. He's more of a downhill drive guy and create opportunities for his teammates.
Good pass by Ewin. That was special. Switton the beneficiary.
And when Ewing's locked in, he's one of the most skilled centers, not only in the ACC, but in the country. Being able to pass the ball, put it on the ground, shoot it, and then work in the mid-post area.
Brown keeps it alive off the Beetle miss. Beetle thought about it. Venning gets it back, tries the power, and he's fouled. BC will have a chance at the line, but first, Ewin, highlight film pass. 17 minutes of the ballgame.
Tell you what, BC has to get in control offensively. They're being careless with the ball. They're juggling the ball. We talked about getting Venning the basketball early in the shot clock. You have to create some type of inside out. Being able to give Venning the ball and just let him be aggressive towards the rim is going to create more opportunities for Boston College offensively.
Look at those numbers, 1,680 points for Eric Devendorf. One more year, you would have had well over 2,000.
Yeah, you know what? I like to shoot the ball, John.
And you did it well. You did it well.
I appreciate you.
Foul on Chad Venning, his 3rd. Team second. Was there ever a point where Jim Boeheim and his staff said, Eric, stop shooting?
Never. That's why I love Coach Payne. It was actually times where he said, son, I need you to shoot the ball. And then I needed no more words. That was it. I was going to do it when you told me not to. But if you're telling me to, all right, I'm letting that thing go.
Don't tell him twice.
Exactly.
Ewin gives Florida State its largest lead of the game. As Venning sits on the bench. Leonard Hamilton, if he wins today, will be his 197th ACC victory.
Just an unbelievable coach, Hall of Fame career. But for both teams, John, who's going to be a guy besides Jamir Watkins or besides Donald Hand Jr. to step up and make some plays?
Deion Brown. He was one of those guys for BC against North Carolina. Beetle with the 3. That's his first 3. He's only put up 2. The Clemson transfer cuts it to a 6-point Noles lead.
And that's a great execution. Deion Brown driving hard to the basket, 2 feet in the paint, collapsing the defense, get an opportunity for a driving kick.
This is the Malique Ewin you expected to see throughout the game. He's got some confidence now.
It doesn't even have to be anything complicated. If I'm 6'11" at that size, I'm just being aggressive towards the basket. You're going to have opportunity to score, or you're going to have the opportunity to get to the foul line.
And he has a handle like a guard. Punched out of bounds, and it's Florida State ball.
Just a great job by Deion Brown, just attacking Ewin, knowing he could get by, 2 feet in the paint, which creates a drive and kick opportunity, and Beetle stepping into it, knock it down. Simple basketball.
Nifty dribbling by Daquan Davis, eluding pressure. Finds Watkins. Ewin on Jaden Hastings. Industrious off the offensive glass. Again for Ewin. Third time's a charm.
If I'm Florida State, I'm just continuing to go back to it, and that's all Ewin has to do. Just be aggressive going after the basketball, and you're going to create opportunities for yourself.
McFarland navigates. That's what you want to see from him.
That's more of McFarland's game, getting downhill, using your strong body, getting into the lane, creating opportunities at the rim.
Davis skips it for Watkins. Boy, the opportunities are plentiful for North Carolina, or for Florida State. They are taking advantage.
I tell you what, if Jamir Watkins continues to improve the jump shot, he's already an NBA prospect, but if he can shoot the ball at a consistent rate, he's just going to shoot up those draft boards even more. Give himself more of an opportunity at the next level.
Davis, the step back. They are on fire. That's 3 of their last 3, 5 of the last 7 to build their largest lead of the game. Brown missed the bunny. Jackson double teamed, and Claire Aubrey calls a foul. Fouls on Jaden Hastings. Malique Ewin's aggressive.
If I'm Malique Ewin, every time I get the basketball, I'm being aggressive, put my shoulder in his chest, just continuing to go up. If I miss it, go after it again, give myself another opportunity, and finally converts.
Get back home and pop on that.
So tell me the spot again, sorry.
I don't know if we're violating any rules.
Yeah, we're going to keep it between us. We got it. We got it.
Yes. You'll find no shortage of good Italian restaurants in the area.
Well, Boston is one of the better cities in America.
Our colleague Sean McDonough calls it the greatest city in America.
He also calls Syracuse the Harvard of the North, the Harvard of Central New York. I believe so. Okay.
Yes, he does. I said, Sean, you have that wrong. Ithaca is the Harvard of Central New York. But you could go with it if you like, if you're a Newhouse grad. Davis at the line. And Florida State has built its largest lead because of why?
Oh, because they're able to get out and play at their pace, and then Malique Ewin has got involved. They've got him the ball in the post. He's looking to be aggressive and attack the hoop, and that's what he needs to do. He's one of the most skilled bigs in the ACC, in the country, really. Just be aggressive towards the rim. You're going to be able to create opportunities for yourself. But this guy right here, Davis, is another guy that Leonard Hamilton really likes. Just a tough-minded guard, a young freshman, but he's another guy that Florida State has an option offensively.
Yeah, he's a good building block. That was a good recruit out of Baltimore. His hand gets flustered in the post, but fouled. It's on Boston Holt. His first. Malique Ewin on the bench, but he has been a load for BC to handle in the second half with 8 points after a quiet first half with 2 fouls. The Eagles have only scored 8 second-half points. They trailed by 5 at halftime.
The last game, it was kind of an anomaly for Malique Ewin. 2 points, 1 for 4 from the field. If I'm Malique Ewin and I'm not in foul trouble, I should be getting 15-plus shots a game, and that's just me being out there, being aggressive, calling for the basketball. He's too skilled a basketball player to only get 4 shots in a game.
Holt tried to split a double team, but Hands got it. Here comes Florida State. Thomas. Thought about a 3, but a foul. And that will bring us to a timeout. Florida State Hot second half. BC not so much, shooting just 25%.
You're likely going to end up losing.
And I think a problem for BC has been replacing Jaden Zachary, and here's a steal by Deion Brown, and he misses the dunk. My goodness. Wow.
Yeah, and that just kind of sums up the Boston College season so far. You make a good play on the defensive end, and then you miss a wide-open opportunity at the rim, and those are the guys, Deion Brown, Josh Beadle, that really need to be able to step up for BC offensively, and then you end up getting a shot clock violation.
And that's the type of play that's hard to erase. As Deion Brown denies the ball and steals it, and what, he just mistime his jump?
You just missed the dunk. You go up two hands, make sure it's secure, and it's nothing fancy. Just get the 2 points. Especially at this point, John. It's not like you're up 13. You're down 13.
Right.
You need the bucket.
Let's make the easy play. Jackson punched away by Hastings.
That's good hands right there by Hastings, but every single time Florida State is getting in that paint, they're just putting pressure on the BC bigs to either foul or try to make a play.
Chas Kelley with his first bucket. He's had limited minutes for Earl Grant. Penciled in as a starting point guard at the beginning of the season, but it's been a struggle.
I think he's just trying to rotate guys in and find out who can contribute. Talk about Kelley and Brown and Beadle. Somebody has to step up and separate themselves.
Timeout, Florida State. We will take a 30-second timeout. Come right back, get out of that morass of the bottom three teams in the ACC who do not make the ACC tournament in Charlotte.
John, we talked about in the beginning of the broadcast, those first three teams have really separated themselves from everybody, but everyone else is 2-3 wins or losses of jumping up 5 spots or going down 5 spots. So every single game means a lot to these teams.
Donald Hand controls for the Eagles. He's had a quiet second half. He has 16. Deion Brown for McFarland. Pretty good look. And the rebound by Watkins.
But it's still stagnant. There's no ball movement. There's no side-to-side motion, you know, creating opportunities to drive. And BC has to have a little bit more urgency now offensively.
Whereas conversely, Florida State has 10 assists on 18 makes. And that's a percentage that Leonard Hamilton can live with, right?
Any team, when you're having good ball movement, when you have your assists almost the same as your field goals made, you're going to get better opportunities, shots at the rim. And Boston College hasn't done that, and Florida State has.
Fouls on Swinton, his second, 5th on the team. McFarland to the bench. Fred Payne in the lineup for the Eagles. Good point, though, on the inability of BC to establish any offensive consistency. And the turnaround, yes.
And again, John, it's a tough shot. He's a tough shot maker, but you can't sustain with those shots throughout the game. You have to get some easy opportunities, some easy looks. It's just hard to play basketball like that, having to make tough shot after tough shot.
Ewin's made a few tough shots in the second half, not that time. Hastings saves it. Good hustle by Hastings to Brown. And the three. And he's got it. Donald Hand with 5 straight points and some energy for the Eagles.
And you just can't say enough about Donald Hand, Jr. You talked about him being the first guy in the gym every single day. He's been having an unbelievable season. In BC, it's not going well, but Donald Hand Jr. says, put the ball in my hands. I'm going to make a tough shot, and then coming down, handoff from Payne, top of the key, knocking it down. We talked about him shooting 55% from 3 over his last 5 games, and he's continuing to be on fire from 3.
Donald Hand's father, a star at Virginia in the late 90s. Watkins at the line after the third foul on Deion Brown. And the miss. Watkins at the line with 13 points, one of two Noles in double figures. Ewin has 12.
A little meditation at the line.
And it pays off.
Going back to my point about BC, Donald Hand Jr., he's going to keep you in the game. He's going to make tough shots. He's going to shoot three-pointers. But to win basketball games, you have to find offense from somebody else.
Complimentary scoring for the Eagles has not been prevalent. Brown, rebound, Payne. Good follow by Fred Payne.
Well, even buckets like that, John, just hustle buckets, offensive rebounds, diving on the floor, just create opportunities for your teammates.
Florida State led by as many as 15. Pivot foot by Davis. Ewin on Hastings, 5 to shoot. Wheeling over the top, and it goes out of bounds. And that brings us to a timeout. So some energetic moments for BC.
The era of NIL. So it seems like a new team every single year. It's just hard for teams to navigate.
Fouls on Deion Brown, his 4th. 7th on the team. Leonard Hamilton has some anxious moments. 1-1 for Jamir Watkins. Leonard Hamilton, 10 new players. He says, you know what, it's a new reality for all of us. We have to deal with it. They don't like it, but it's basically what you're dealing with now in college basketball.
Well, that's the thing. It's not just one team dealing with it. It's everybody in college basketball dealing with it. So I tell you one thing, John, no one's feeling sorry for each other. You know, you got to figure it out. You got to try to mesh these guys in 1 year and see what you could do.
And a lot of that was prevalent when we saw coaching exercises like Tony Bennett, Jim Larinaga, and Jay Wright. Reason why those guys departed? Maybe just tired.
Yeah, probably a little bit of both. I think they started to see, hey, these guys are getting paid more than my assistant coaches. It's time for me to get out of here.
Yeah, not a bad living. Fred Payne goes baseline. He's given BC some quality minutes, and that's what Earl Grant told us. He likes his energy and the fact that he never gives up.
We talked about it in the beginning. You don't have to be the most skillful or talented guy. It's just how hard are you going to play? How hard are you can compete on that basketball court? And Fred Payne is one of those guys. He just competes at a high level.
He has 9 points. He only averages 7. Malique Ewin backing in on Hastings in contact. Foul on Jaden Hastings, the redshirt freshman. That's his 4th.
Hastings had good positions right there, just caught with his hand in the cookie jar, just playing straight up right there. A guy like Malique Ewin, he's going to get to his spots. You just have to make it tough for him when he gets there.
2 shots for Ewin. BC's outscored the Noles 21-20 in the second half. Florida State 72% from the line. Chad Venning back in for the foul-plagued Hastings. Venning has 6 points and 4 rebounds. He's playing with 3 fouls. Lead's only changed 1 time. Florida State has led for more than 26 minutes.
John, too, for BC, See right now, Malique Ewin guarding Deion Brown. I'm seeing if I can get Deion Brown the ball and an opportunity to attack Malique Ewin. That's another way to counter him offensively, is attack him on the defensive side.
Payne with 3 to shoot. 3 by Brown. Venning weak side. And he had position on Davis. Foul was on Davis.
John, these are the opportunities you're going to have. You see Malique Ewin guarded out on the perimeter. There's nobody protecting the rim for Florida State or able to get rebounds like that. You have opportunities for Venning in the post and second chance opportunities.
3rd foul on Davis. Kelley inbounds. And putting on a show, but not that time. What happened?
Well, right idea right there, just out of control on the shot. They're not going to give you a foul on that.
Watkins trying to back in on Kelley. And a foul.
Right here, yeah. First of all, Boston College, you can't let a guy back you down from the three-point line all the way into the paint. You have to be able to stand your ground. And we talked about Earl Grant wanting the communication. Defensively, where is the communication for Boston College?
4th foul on Chad Venning. Now they shifted over to Kelley calling the foul on him. So Venning remains at 3.
And that was the right call. And Jamir Watkins is a guy who he almost forces you to foul him, John. Just with his big body, 6'7", 215. He's going to be relentless at trying to get the ball to the basket. Creates angles with his strong body, and you almost are forced to foul him when he's doing that.
More meditation at the line.
I'm a fan.
Did you do that?
I do. You know what? I try to get a little 5 to 10 minute meditation every morning just to kind of clear my head and get ready for the day.
I like it. I didn't know that about you.
Laid back guy. Laid back guy.
You have that Zen-like feeling.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day of the Big East tournament, I wouldn't have said Eric Stevendorf is a Zen guy.
Now, all this came about after that. So, yeah, you wouldn't have known that about me back then. But I actually, when I went back to school, I took a class at Syracuse, a meditation class. So that kind of got me getting into it.
And BC had trouble inbounding the ball, so they needed a timeout. Chas Kelley had to take a timeout. That was the problem.
Oh, you have to get open, right? You have to make it easy for Chas Kelley and give him an opportunity to make a pass. But how tough is it to lose a game not getting the ball inbounds? All you had to do was inbounds, they were going to foul you.
Brown, the 3, left it short. Inexcusable, simply inexcusable. They walked away with a heartbreaking loss to North Carolina. Prohibitive favorite Tar Heels. You had a chance to knock off a signature victory for Earl Grant and company, and they could not close the deal.
And really the best offensive game they had all season. The whole game, they really played a good offensive game. Defensively, obviously, they could have been better, but all you have to do is get the basketball in. All right, the coach can draw it up. You have to execute it, and you have to be able to get open.
Chas Kelley guarded by Jamir Watkins. Kelley from Houston.
That defensive pressure right there by Watkins.
Got hand. No shot, says Claire Aubrey. Foul on the Noles.
And John, even if you don't create a turnover, if you're Jamir Watkins, now you're just forcing a guy like Kelley to play fast at a speed that he doesn't want to play at. Now he has to make a decision. He had nowhere to go. That usually ends up in a tough shot. Got a bailout call right there with Hand Jr. getting an opportunity at the free throw line, but great ball pressure by Jamir Watkins.
3rd foul on Justin Thomas as Watkins heads to the bench. Chandler Jackson in the Noles lineup. And with 22 to lead all scorers, He's 5 of 5 at the line. That's no surprise. He leads the ACC at 90% on the season.
Look, Donald Hand Jr. is doing all that he can.
He's doing everything.
I mean, he's carrying the load for this Boston College team. He's waiting for some of his teammates to step up and give him some help.
How about this? No field goals in the last 8.5 minutes for Florida State, and they still lead by 6 points.
Yeah, it just goes to show you that no one else besides Donald Hand Jr. is doing anything for Boston College.
This is our next gymnastics meet here on ACCN and the ESPN app. Tomorrow afternoon, number 8 Cal going off against number 21 NC State in Raleigh. Coverage begins at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific. Foul on Venning is 4th with Jackson at the line. That tells a huge story. No field goals in 8.5 minutes, and you still withstand the lead.
And the thing is, John, they've had some opportunities. They've got some turnovers. We talked about the missed fast break dunk by Deion Brown. They've had turnovers, and then they turned it back over and gave it to Florida State. So just missed opportunities. When you're able to create offense from defense, you have to be able to capitalize off of it.
They have had 10 free throws since. So they have a 7-point lead. One timeout left for BC, 2 for Florida State. In the paint, Venning spinning. Ewin boxed him out. He had expert positioning.
Well, if I have a 6'7" forward on me and I'm Venning and I'm 6'10", 270, I'm not fading away from the basket. And when you see the double team come, then you got to be able to make a decision and hit the open man.
Ewin. Out of bounds. Remains Florida State ball, and that brings us to another media timeout. ACC men's basketball is minutes left. Last FSU field goal at the 13:22 mark. Since that point, they're 0 for 7. They've been 9 for 12 from the line. So very uneven, but credit to them. They've been able to stymie BC offensively.
And BC just not be able to take advantage of the turnovers that they create, and then they come down here, and then they're fouling and putting us in the free throw line. And on the other end, offensively, they have to be able to see the mismatch when Venning is down there.
Good ball movement by the Seminoles. Swinton now with 10 points. And you are incredulous sitting here courtside with me. You're just wondering what the heck BC is doing on offense.
Well, and it's a number of things, right? And I'm shaking my head. One, Venning, you outweigh Swinton by 80 pounds. Seal and get your position and hold them there.
Yeah.
And then Beadle, you have to be able to create a passing angle so you can get him the ball earlier rather than late. Because like you said, later, Swinton's going to be able to get around, use his quickness and athletic ability to take it away. But BC just isn't seeing it early enough.
Venning. So they do get it to the big guy, and it doesn't work.
Well, you're 6'10", 270, and you're playing like 6'2", 180. You catch the ball, have some leverage, be big. There was no reason to even throw that pass. Catch it, be patient, and then see what opens up for you.
Beadle trying to go behind his back. And out of bounds, BC ball with 3 seconds to shoot, but another empty possession.
Just bad decision-making by the guards.
That's why we go back to Jaden Zachary's exit for Clemson. That was a huge loss when they lose him at point guard. Hand off the glass, and he beats the shot clock. What a day for Donald Hand. Career high 6 3-pointers.
John, might as well. You might as well get him up. And basketball is a simple game. Do you have the jump shot? Do you have the pass? Make it simple. BC guards are making it more complicated than it has to be.
And with 52 points in his last 2 games, 26 today. Davis trying to split the D. Wow, that was special. Daquan Davis. What a handle.
Just tough, hard nose. Baltimore guard, putting his head down, getting to the rim, not afraid of the contact, fearless at the rim, finishing.
Payne trying to equal it. Instead, it's going the other way. Foul on BC.
John, he's from Baltimore. You know, we talking about the cities like Detroit, Baltimore. He's a hard-nosed guy. He's not afraid of contact at the rim. He has the heart of a lion. Talked about Leonard Hamilton. Just loves this guy. Just how he's fearless on both ends of the court. Especially at the point guard position at that size, you have to play with that fearless mentality.
You play with a few Baltimore guys?
I play with a few Baltimore guys, a few Philly guys.
Oh, yeah.
That Baltimore, Philly, Detroit, you have that grit, that fearlessness and a chip on your shoulder. You just have to have that, especially at that size. At any size, you have to be able to play like that.
Chas Kelley in the Eagle lineup with Boston Holt at the line. Those of you tuning in to see Virginia Tech and Virginia coming up next on ACCN with Wes Durham and Dan Bonner. 2 misses, big ones for Holt as we approach the 2-minute mark.
Yeah, BC has to play with some urgency right now offensively. Either get to the basket, get an opportunity at the rim, or get the ball into the hands of Donald Hitt Jr.
Look out, Brown saves it at half court. Almost a backcourt violation. Good save by Venning. And no. Watkins doubled underneath. Comes up with a huge rebound.
It's almost like, besides Donald Hitt, when anybody on BC gets the ball, they don't know what to do with it.
BC out-rebounded 42-33. Watkins has 7 of those for the Noles as they kill some clock. Two seconds to shoot. Davis off the mark. Here comes Hand. Kelley had Payne, elects to take it himself, and he missed the layup. My goodness. Wow. High percentage misses by BC, a big story of their season.
But even when you're attacking the basket, it's almost like a hesitant attack. It's not an aggressive attack. Like, go there and to score the basketball. Right here, it's just a little bit of hesitancy right there, and blown left-hand layup. You got to go aggressive, looking to score, attacking the basket. If you miss it, hopefully you get an opportunity at the free throw line.
Probably factoring in from a mental perspective, he's thinking too much about it.
Thinking too much. You're thinking about making a mistake. You can't play basketball second-guessing yourself. This guy right here is not going to second-guess himself. Just give Donald Hitt Jr. the ball if you're Boston College.
Just an outstanding shooting display by Hand. Ties his career high with 29 points. And how he made this, I have no idea.
Just off balance right there. You know what? That's one of those shots where you're really feeling yourself. And as many times we think Boston College is out the game, they're back in it. Only down 5 with 48 seconds left.
Yeah, the Eagles have had a flurry of counter punches. They're going to see if his foot was on the line.
On the review to see if that's a 3- or 2-point field goal.
As you just heard Claire Aubrey with the description. We'll take a look.
Yeah, it looks like he was on the line. That's going to end up being an opportunity for a 3-point play.
Play has been overturned. It's a 2-point field goal.
Coming up next at 4 Eastern on ACC Network, the Commonwealth Clash between Virginia Tech and Virginia will join in progress. And also SMU hosts Stanford to cap the night. So just a 2 for Hand, which means he has 28, 1 shy of his career high. But he will be at the line trying to complete the 3-point play. 1 timeout left for the Eagles, 2 for the Noles. To build on your point, after all this, they still have a chance to win. Florida State led by as many as 15.
Well, after he knocks down this free throw, Boston College has to press up, and hopefully you don't have to foul yet, but you have to try to create a turnover.
And has scored the last 8 BC points. Jackson runs the baseline, finds Watkins. Trying to get through Payne, but a foul. much to the chagrin of Earl Grant. It's on Fred Payne. What do you think, Eric?
It was a good job right there. We got to cut the baseline off right there, but I didn't really see a foul on anyone. If anything, it looked like a carry.
Questionable with Watkins at the line. Florida State's making a living at the line. 33 attempts. They've made 24 of them. BC's been to the line 16 times, knocking down 13.
Just goes to show you how aggressive Florida State has been attacking the basket and trying to get to the rim. Really, John, they've left the door open a couple times. Getting to the line, but not making it.
Yeah, they've had the 9 misses. Watkins with 18, Ewin has 14, and Swinton has 10. Hands 29 for BC, but after that, just 7 each from Brown and McFarland, and 9 from Fred Payne. 2 big makes for Jamir Watkins. Justin Thomas back in for Florida State. Here comes Kelley.
BC just has to be assertive. Just try to get to, there you go, get to the rim, be aggressive. When you get downhill and you're aggressive, you're more likely to get fouled than not.
4th foul on Daquan Davis. Eagles playing with foul problems of their own, but Kelley at the line. 1-1. Foul on the Seminoles. Chandler Jackson, 3rd. 2 shots for Payne.
BC got lucky right there, but that's why they're in the position they are. Missed free throws. We talk about not being able to get the ball in out of bounds. These are things that you have to be able to convert and take advantage of.
Well, in your 21st game, you're at a point now where your offense should be much more cohesive.
And just understanding what your role is on the team.
Yeah, you should have an identity. Good steal. Eagles hustle continues. Fred Payne. Hustle points for Payne, who's been terrific. And a timeout. So the Eagles say, hey, you know what? We're not going away. To your point, Eric, they've just hung around. They're waiting for that knockout punch as the counter punches continue, but Payne winning a 50-50.
And just hustle plays. You know, competing at a high level. Fred Payne is get on the ground a little bit and get dirty. Don't be afraid to get hit in your chest. And Fred Payne doing a great job of just doing the little things.
BC's only had 7 turnovers, 11.
Shot makers, he's one of the best at finishing and creating at the rim.
Louisville 9-1 in the ACC, 16-5 overall. How about Chucky Hepburn for Pat Kelsey? What he's doing, averaging more than 6 assists per game. But BC with the inbounds and doubled and fouled. Fouls on Watkins. 3rd on Watkins. Hand at the line. Trying to establish a career high. He's at 29 points.
And it's funny, John, when you're having a good game, when you're feeling good, you have 29 points. You saw the Florida State guys asking for a travel. They're going to give you some of those calls when you're playing that good and you're being aggressive, getting to the rim. And got to give credit to Donald Hand Jr. for continuing to play, continuing to be aggressive.
And he's perfect from the line. He's also has a career-high 31 points. Donald Hand, outstanding. 9 for 9 at the line. 1 possession game and a foul at half court on Fred Payne. Is that the right idea?
If you weren't able to get the turnover right away, you got a foul. And all Florida State has to do, John, is knock down free throws. Easier said than done.
Valiant comeback by BC. Hands 31 points, the most by a BC player this season. Malique Ewin hitting the first. Ewin has 15 and 9 rebounds.
He really came alive in this second half. First half, really nothing, but just him being aggressive like we talked about makes a big difference for Florida State. And Florida State right here, I'm getting him all the way back, protecting the basket. You have free throw line pressure right here, but you don't want to just let guys blow by you.
2 big makes for Ewin. A reminder, we'll be joining Virginia Tech of Virginia after our conclusion. Chas Kelley for 3. Rims out. Swint in the weak big side rebound, but a steal by Venning. Payne's got 2. Eagles defense turning into offense. And a foul. Unbelievable.
You see Chas Kelley, good opportunity right there at a 3, but just continue to fight, continue to play. Venning keeping the ball alive. Brown to Payne, and a chance for a 3-point play right now. Payne has just changed this game by bringing high energy, right? Bringing high energy. When you come into the game, what can I do, coach? Play as hard as you can.
14 points for Fred Payne. He's been terrific. Huge part of BC's success. Second leading scorer behind Hans, 31.
Really all just off energy plays. He hit a couple open shots in the first half, but just him being active and bringing energy.
Just his feistiness. Full court pressure, hand on the ball, and Ewin's fouled. That's the 3rd on hand. So Ewin at the line. Florida State has missed 9 free throws. They're 28 of 37. Ewin is 6 for 6, though.
John, I used to love to be able to get these extra points at the line at the end of the game. Please give me the ball so you can foul me.
There's a reason why you scored 1,680 points at Syracuse.
I'm running to that ball.
Now we know the secret. Let it be told.
Exactly.
By Eric Tievendorf. But can't say enough about what BC has done to stay in this game.
I mean, there's many times in this game where they really could have just laid down and gave up, but you got to credit the team, but you credit Fred Payne for really bringing the energy and creating turnovers and opportunities.
Also credit Florida State at the line. Their last 6 attempts.
Done a great job of just coming in and really giving this Boston College team a lot of energy.
Here comes Payne. And blocked. Venning the board. He's got 2. Florida State inbounding. Look out. It's stolen by Kelley. Puts up a 3. And he's got it. Chad Kelley hits a 3 with 3.7 seconds left. My goodness.
Can't say enough about Fred Payne.
Right.
I mean, he's really come in and give Boston College a different type of energy. And it seems like these other guys are really feeding off of it. But Fred Payne, he has done an unbelievable job of really shifting the momentum to BC.
All right, how do you defend this last 4.8 seconds?
Well, you just want to keep guys in front of you. Do not foul. Just making a tough shot, hands up. I mean, they got to inbound at full court. They're going to try to get it in and just try to go downhill and get an opportunity at the basket.
Here comes Davis. Trying to go full length to the court, out of bounds. And that does it. The Boston College Eagles have completed a miraculous 15-point comeback. Chas Kelley